Nice! I think that was it. I think that was enough, wasn't it?
That was tremendous.
Just don't start the tremendous again.
That was Danish David Grissom, I think. There,
Danish Grissom. Hello, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back to Andertons TV. Mr. Pete, Mr. Lee here, talking about Mr. David Grissom's new signature amplifier from Paul Reed Smith.
There it is.
What is it, a DGT 15? Is that its official name?
What an amazing guitar player he is. If you don't know him off the bat, straight in there, go and check him out because it's just...
It's not what you just played there. It's not
not
bad
mile off.
kind of, that's the deal, right? Bluesy, rootsy, a little bit of jazzy kind of tone guy, right?
And it seems like a really nice guy. I've never met him, but I would love to meet him one day.
Yep. So anyway, look, David Grissom has had a long history of making products with Paul Reed Smith guitars. The guitar that Pete's playing is the American DGT.
Yeah.
We've got an SE version of the DGT here. Was probably the biggest selling new Paul Reed Smith SE guitar of last year.
I love that. Best guitar, watch the video we did up there. It's definitely the best PRS guitar downstairs.
A few years ago as well, I think at least 10 years ago.
So good.
I don't think I've ever played one, so I can't really comment, but Paul Reed Smith made an amp for David Grissom, which they built in the USA, called the DG Custom 30.
Right.
This is now going to be, you're probably going to see this in most Paul Reed Smith dealers' stores, I would imagine, because this is now a Far Eastern, way more affordable and slightly lower output valve amplifier, but again, voiced very much off the back of that sort of DG30, DG Custom 30, and anyway. So,
can I just start saying it looks great,
doesn't it?
And also it says up here, if you read, Reverb additional, and it there says please like and subscribe.
Just underneath, I see.
If you are new to the channel, welcome. We appreciate it. And also it says at 1 million subscribers, we'll give away a real clon. That's what it says here.
I tell you, David Grissom is going to subscribe just to be in the hat to win one of those clon pedals.
I can imagine he has one already.
Right, so you got a head, you got a cab underneath. Those of you looking at this will have noticed it's of course not the matching cab that's going with this. No. This is in fact the Mark Tremonti 1x12. Yeah. However, when the matching cab does arrive, it is the same speaker and I believe the same dimensions as this. So apart from the colour and the weave on the front, it should sound identical. So it's a vintage 30 loaded, kind of regular size 1x12 cab.
This is a good T.
It is a good T, isn't it? What is it? This is Twining's
Calm.
Metabolism. Oh, you've got Calm, have you? I've got Metabolism.
I've got Metabolism.
It's a nice
I
T.
definitely need my Metabolism. Metabolism?
Metabolism?
Aluminium?
We are making a concerted effort to drink less caffeine here. I like this amplifier. I like the features on this. Okay, it's not a conventional channel switching amplifier. It's a single channel amplifier, but with quite a lot that you can kind of foot switch in or add to it and do. Yeah. If we go sort of this side to this side, I'm trying left to right. Preamp volume, fine, but gets interesting in a minute, so hold on. Preamp volume, which has a foot switchable boost switch underneath it. I'll go into that in a minute. It's like a preset amount of boost. Treble middle bass, easy peasy. Brightness switch, again, foot switchable. What is wrong with me?
I know,
I'm not even going to go there. If you've seen other videos, you know what I'm talking about.
You're turning into him. Even the
Please don't say that. Master volume. This is where I think it's very, very cool. original vintage amplifiers would never have had a master volume circuit. They would have just had one volume control, and down it would be clean, and up it would get loud and distorted. And then, I guess in the 1970s, 80s, people started to introduce this idea of a master volume, so you could drive the preamp hard, get all those distortion sounds, but keep the volume low. Some guitar players, and even some more modern, I'm thinking of amps like Bad Cat done a similar thing where it would have a master volume, but you could remove it from the circuit if you wanted. And that just opens the amp right up, gives you maximum headroom, and some players just prefer that.
It's a great idea.
That feeling.
I think that's a
pretty
great
cool idea. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Then we've got reverb. I've got a spec here. It doesn't mention whether the reverb is spring or digital. It's interesting that it's a tube-driven reverb. But I mean, we're going, I think it's got to be a digital reverb, otherwise we'd expect to hear some clang there. But it sounds great.
It's a great reverb.
Yeah, like,
it's
how do you even know
springy
nowadays? I think it's digital. But
it sounds very springy.
Yeah,
it's really, really nice. Really
anyway,
nice
Top Cut, which is obviously designed to just sort of filter off some of the high frequency, presence control, and then again a tremolo circuit built in. But the tremolo, again, interestingly, it's not a digital tremolo. It's actually adjusting the way the two power valves get volume to them. So again, like a tube tremolo circuit. All of that for under £1,000 in the UK.
It's a great price for that amp. Where would the top cut from? Is that be like a matchless type
Vox
thing?
8030s would have had a top cut.
And a presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 15 watts with EL84s.
84s, yeah.
So I guess, you know, being objective about this, it's not a high headroom clean amplifier.
No.
It's an amplifier that wants to do that slightly dirty compressed thing, if you know, with big power chords and stuff. You listen to David Grissom playing, it's perfect for that kind of vibe.
Absolutely.
So let's go through the settings. In fact, this was quite nice as well. The settings that we did that opening jam on are on this little bit of removable cardboard on the top here.
Yep.
David's go-to settings. There's some other settings here for Texas Blues, but I'll play with that in a minute. But let's just quickly, we'll go through some tones. So what we've done here is we've switched the master volume off. So you can ignore where this is. It's going to give you the maximum volume. You can engage it with the switch upwards, which is fine. Or, which I thought this was quite clever, you can have it on with the boost. So you can have the clean sound maximum headroom, and then the boost, you can actually kick in the master volume circuit to sort of, if you like...
Where you want to set it.
Yeah, so if you don't want the boost to necessarily be a lot louder, you just want that to be the same kind of volume, but with gain.
Yeah, that's clever.
That's quite clever.
It's very clever.
Same basic idea over here. So the boost you can either have on all the time, off all the time, or assigned to the foot switch. In fact, let's do that first. So the boost is assigned to the foot switch. Let's leave the master volume off, and you can get an idea of what boost does. So here's kind of like the cleanest you can realistically have this with the preamp gain round about 9 o'clock.
Also swapped to the SE version just because I thought, I don't know, under £1,000.
Yeah.
It's kind of affordable.
Agreed.
So. Gonna get many more G chords today, like yesterday. It was all full of G chords, wasn't it, Taylor? Sounds nice, man.
It is more. Is it British sounding? It's less classic scooped American sounding, isn't it? I think it's more in that British camp. Maybe I don't want to say Voxy, but it might be more in that realm. Could be. Yeah.
That's what I saw with that top cut there.
So you'll see if I wind the preamp round more, we're going to lose that clean headroom. It's going to.
There you got that Grissom sound.
It sounds great though.
now we need Mick Taylor to play all of his Grissom riffs.
It's, you know, actually, before I show you the boost, actually, maybe I will now just show you what would be the point of the master volume. That kind of volume we just had there, we were hitting sort of 95, 97 dB. So that is, we're at a small club gigging volume.
Yeah.
If you want to use this at home, that's where you'd want to have the master volume in. So here we go.
Hang on, let's see. I'm on full up. Yeah.
So it's perfectly capable of doing a home use thing, but of course, as soon as you have the master volume, you know, here at like 9 o'clock, it's like you've throttled the amplifier slightly, so it just doesn't bloom in the way that I guess.
This is what we keep talking about. You've got underwound pickups. You need some volume. You know, volume makes everything better and everyone deafer.
So I'm going to switch the master volume off. So again, it's effectively completely opened up. We'll go back to that 9 o'clock on the volume and then show you what the boost does.
Here's the boost.
Switch the boost off again. I think you got to be a little bit careful getting the reverb balance there, right? Because it's obviously the reverb's after all of that gain. So if you've got it set on the sort of the cleaner sound, just how you want it, be aware that when you put the boost in, it's going to, you know, add an extra amount of reverb again.
And that leads us to one of the questions where I know you're going to type, has it got an effects loop? No, it doesn't have an effects loop because it's old school, right? It doesn't.
What is on the back? It is just speaker outputs, and obviously a Footswitch input and some bias controls, which is interesting as well. There's a little FAQ at the back here. I'm no mega expert on this, but it's cathode biased. So the two power tubes are cathode biased, which means they will automatically bias themselves.
Right, that's cool.
But then there's another thing in the FAQ that says, so why has it got bias monitoring controls on the back? And it's something to do with making it quick to find dead tubes and making sure all the tubes are effectively in a safe bias range. I'm no expert on that, but that's what it says.
Why would people choose not to have an effects loop in amps? I know the DRX doesn't have it. Is it the Hendrix version doesn't have an effects loop? Is it?
Well, effects loops didn't exist in the olden days.
I mean, I'm just asking you. I know I like an effects loop and I don't really need it, but
my only experience of that was on an older Victory amplifier. Was one of the older Sheriffs. Or maybe it was the Duchess. I can't remember. Martin Kidd had a switch on the back that enabled you to bypass the effects loop.
Like Mr. Boogie has. That you could do that.
So it was almost like, so even if you didn't have something plugged into the effects loop, the circuit is still there effectively. So if you switched it off, it made a minuscule, well, I say minuscule, it made a very small difference to the tone. So I guess if you're really searching for, you know, like the unicorn tone, and you just don't like the sound an effects loop gives you, even though you're not using it, the only way to get rid of it is to remove it.
To take the effects loop
away.
So
of course, and you know, so any pedals that you want to use with this amplifier have just got to go in the front. And many guitar players do that anyway.
I've always done that.
So don't worry about it.
But it does, you know, when you do run a couple of overdrives into a reverb, into a delay, it does crinkle the sound up. I found it took the stuff very nicely when I put some delay in it.
That crinkle word, though, I think it's part of the characteristic of this amplifier.
Some people love that.
Like if you're really, you know, you wouldn't buy this for gent or anything like that. So it's a vibe of an amplifier. Anyway,
it's a perfect gent set.
So we've shown the boost. I mean, I can fiddle around with the EQ a little bit just to give you a bit of sound. Here we go.
I keep doing decals for Taylor all day long here. That's what I'm going to do.
We're pretty much 12 o'clock, but
okay.
of extra gain coming in by boosting the treble. You know. Interesting how much you can affect the headroom of the amplifier by either, you know, turning all the EQ up to 3 o'clock or backing it all down to 9. Yeah. We've talked about master volume. We've talked about the reverb.
Can we have full reverb just for shits and giggles, as they say?
You don't want that much, though, do you?
No, I just enjoy this for a little bit. I enjoy these guitars, man. These are so good, these guitars.
Let me show you. There is this brightness switch, which, again, I saw a clip of David Grissom talking about the amplifier, and this was one of the more subtle features on the amp, but I guess, if you're tone searching, it'll all be important. So the brightness switch can either be on all the time, off all the time, or on when you don't have the boost, but off when you do have the boost. So let's just show you. Okay. So here is on all the time.
So I have to remember that pickup, that goes to that, and that goes to that. I'm like,
Here is off. And now here is on, but as soon as you engage the boost, it'll switch it off again.
The boost will also boost the sound up.
Yeah, so the boost comes on.
So and it takes the treble down.
Comes off.
That's clever.
It really hasn't felt like it's what needed a drive pedal
yet. There's no pedals at all in it.
And you get this with it, right? That's included in the price. It's using a DIN cable to connect it.
Good old-fashioned MIDI.
Don't lose the DIN cable. They're not the easiest to replace. Is it MIDI or is it 7-pin? Can I unplug this?
I thought it was 7, wasn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's 5 pin. So actually 5 pin. So I think
that should be
easier to replace.
Simple to.
Anyway.
Yeah. You can get them off Amazon and eBay. And
sometimes I think the power that powers the LEDs are not conventional MIDI cables, but hey, whatever. You get the cable with it, so just try not to lose it. Right, let's see what Top Cut does.
Top Cut.
Yeah.
Top Cut. Top Cut.
Sounds like a hairdresser. Right, so all the way off. Right, I think I just need to establish we're going to not have the bright switch on.
Okay.
And we're demonstrating Top Cut without the bright switch.
Okay.
It literally, maybe I need to put the brightness switch on because it's almost acting like even though it's on a knob, it's almost acting like on and off.
Yeah.
But let's try it.
Yeah,
Here we go. love the fact that this amplifier, which is, you know, for a valve amplifier is a relatively affordable price, has really got a couple of those little features that you normally associate with way more expensive amps, where the artist is just going, I just need that 1% extra here, and that's all this knob is designed to do.
I'm pretty impressed with this little amp, how much it does.
Yep. Presence control.
Presence control.
Both these controls, I think, are going to be hyper guitar specific. So if you've got a guitar that's a little brighter, but they're both pretty subtle. Anyway, and then your tremolo control is on your foot switch, so you kick that in when you want.
Kick that in here. Little pulsating light there. I like it. That's a good sounding.
Immediate win for going that slow. Yeah. Not a lot of the time, tremolo systems built into amplifiers, just for me anyway, don't go slow enough.
Yeah.
But that's lovely for that little slow.
Still no pedals.
I was about to say, that is a very, very capable amplifier for a lot of different sounds. I mean, again, I really don't think there's, you know, many situations where this wouldn't be a, you know, again, so it's not a 100-watt clean amplifier, so it doesn't necessarily do that.
But how? So we're running it quite hot now. Where's the? So we set the master to
it's off.
on,
right?
So I just want to see just how clean we can get it.
Well, if you want it as clean as possible, you want the master off. So because that gives
you want the master. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it gives you and then you just.
So that's what we're doing now. I see.
Yeah. So
right.
And then you just have this, you know, as low as you can get it, but still loud enough, you know.
I just try that.
Yeah, that should be the same, basically.
It is, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Clever. It's clever to have all that, yeah.
They're being the same. Switching the master off or turning it on and then turning it all the way up
is the same.
Should be the same.
Yeah.
It may, do you know what? It may still have slightly more headroom when it's completely removed from the circuit.
Yeah.
Even on full. In may still be slightly less. So if you want maximum headroom, just turn the master volume off. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I
mean,
can we hear it with some?
Yeah,
like
we can do that.
If we go for a sort of a, I don't know, like a 10 o'clock on the volume. Bit of drive.
Down. No drive. So that's just the clean. So drive. Let's just do the Dane. I know what that sounds like.
I was trying to decide. I think most valve amplifiers, you know, a little underwhelming when the volume is all the way down.
Yeah, I tend to
You get
agree.
the odd one where you go, oh, that sounds amazing at low volumes like that, but I don't know that I would necessarily put this one in that.
It needs to be loud.
Wants to be a little bit louder.
Maybe that's the cab, maybe that's the speaker. You know, this V30, right?
It's a great value cab. I mean, I presume the handwritten price at the top of this is right, but it's going to be $9.99 for the head and $3.49 for the cab.
It's a good value cab.
A good value cab
and head
for
and
a
cab.
Celestion V30 loaded cab.
I saw him play 2 of them somewhere, and it sounded really great.
Of course, you absolutely could run different cabs off this, or multiple cabs off this.
I would run
100%.
I would run a gold or sort of a creamback.
Yeah,
That's just my personal.
I was surprised to hear that. I don't know what cab Dave Grissom is using live, but I was surprised to hear it was a vintage 30. I thought it might have a creamback or something in it, but that sounds great. We should give a shout out as well to a Mr. Doug Sewell.
Absolutely.
He is effectively Mr. PRS when it comes to guitar amplifiers.
Yeah, he is.
So whilst Paul is involved, credit to Doug Sewell, because he's really he's the amp guy at Paul Smith. He's been there for a long time as well. I kind of feel like all I want to do now is just set it up using this Texas Blues setting.
I think you should play it on a Strat instead. Use something else. Play a Strat on that setting.
That is a great shout. Let's see, because not everybody has a 2-humbucker guitar, right? Okay.
I mean, you could do that, right?
But no, we'll try it with a Strat.
Let's do that.
Have we got a Silver Sky? Keep it on brand.
We have got a Silver Sky. Is that it then? Are we good?
Yeah, we're all good. Yeah. Good. Well, unless you want to, do you want to do the Texas Blues?
No,
or shall
I'll
do Texas Blues for you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. Thank you for watching.
See you
like and
next
subscribe.
time.
Links below.
Oof. Okay, here we go. I really like it. I like the edge of break-upness of it.
Little bit of a just on the tip.
If that's the sound you're searching for. I mean, I assume I can just play softer and. Yeah, I mean, you could. But I think, its sound.
It's nice and reactive, and there's lots of harmonics, and it's great.
Yeah, I think that's one. I like it. I like volume up full, but then just pick softer.
Do the lick.
No pedals.
Let's boost it. Let's boost it with the Dane boost.
Although, use the boost in the amp.
Yeah. Yeah, that's better.
Turn it off. Have I got it switched to do something?
Yeah.
I've got it switched. Okay.
Yeah, it goes.
Yes, it works. I don't know that I've ever seen David Grissom playing anything other than his Reed Smiths. Yeah. But if you do own if single coils are more your thing, don't be afraid. This is a great little amplifier for both. There we are. That's it.
Don't be afraid.
Laters.